Hello, guys. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natassia.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome.
Hey, guys. Oh, my goodness. So we're going to talk about something that Lisa is very good at.
Oh, no.
I want
this
to
year
be.
I have not been.
Really?
Well, I hurt my back.
Yes.
So I had back issues. So I have not been as diligent. And every time I go out there, I'm like, ugh, I need to get out here. But I'm scared about making certain moves or I'll be back at the chiropractor. But it's gardening.
Yes.
It's gardening. Do you guys garden? Now, during the pandemic, gardening became a thing.
Yes, it became a thing.
Really got into it.
Yes. And there are so many, not just YouTubes, but like Instagram and TikToks that their sole purpose, their sole focus is gardening.
Yeah.
So do you like outdoor plants or indoor plants better? Do you have a preference?
I don't do indoor, but I do I like flower gardens.
Yes.
I'm not so much into vegetables or anything.
Okay.
I haven't been successful and haven't tried real hard, to be honest with you. But I do like kind of a cottagey type flower garden.
Okay.
And there's so many lessons you learn in a garden.
I agree.
That until you garden, you just so many life lessons. And
I think it's great for nurturing.
Miracles in a garden, things that look dead come back in a garden.
Yeah.
You learn about seasons and resurrection and just in cultivation. Oh my gosh.
True. That's true.
If you garden, you gardeners know, say you go out of town, go on vacation, you come back, it's a hot mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it takes, when God said, Adam, tend your garden, he's not playing.
That was a job.
Tending is cultivation.
Yes.
And such an analogy for life,
That's
metaphor
true.
for life, just tending your garden, whatever your garden is. It could be your marriage, your children, your friendships. They need tending.
Yeah.
And it just denotes cultivation and work. You've got to water and weed and fertilize. Seeds will grow.
Yeah.
I mean,
but so
you can just throw some stuff out there and it'll grow.
Yeah.
But for it to grow and be healthy.
Right. It takes work.
It takes work. It takes a lot of work.
During the whole freeze, obviously we've said before, we're in Texas and it's always hot. And so if you live in a place where there's snow, it was not a big deal. But for Texas, like our power grid shut down,
yes.
People literally froze to death, which is just absolutely terrifying when you think about these were not people out in the country. These, major cities, people
or
froze
homeless
to death.
People.
Yes.
It was people in their homes.
Yes. But that little boy who he went to a family member's house and he was staying in their trailer and he froze to death, just very, very scary. And my parents have just gorgeous indoor and outdoor plants. I aspire to get there. I actually have some plants that are alive right now, so I'm pretty proud. But my outdoor thing is elephant ears. I love elephant ears.
They grow well here, too.
They do. They grow really well here. So when the freeze came, even though, this is February? So when the freeze comes January, February, you're not thinking about what looks beautiful in the summer. But I remember I was like, I have to cover the ground. Like I have to try to protect the seed because, of course, the elephant ears, they're not out anymore. It's been cold. And so that's where gardening teaches that lesson of expectancy. Yes. I covered it. Of course, we covered our pipes. We had pipes freeze, covering everything, but it's the expectancy. Like, Lord, I was pruning this whole time. I'm caring for it. And I hope that it's good. But especially here, you don't water for a few days.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh, those hydrangeas.
I bet they just crumple up.
Oh my gosh. You have to, twice a day. You have to water really to keep them going. But there's nothing better in the spring when things, they've died over the winter and you really think they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
it looks
don't
like
see, and just beneath, just barely peeking out, you'll see a little piece of green, and it's so miraculous.
Yeah.
When you look at it, you think, boy, this is gone.
Yeah.
This is just not going to make it.
I did not think.
And they will come back.
Yes.
And it's such a beautiful life lesson.
That is a metaphor for life.
It really is.
Kids should have gardens instead of getting dogs.
And then you learn the other way too, because there's some stuff that dies. dies from neglect.
Yes.
Dies from the weather. Some stuff does not make it. And that's true in life too. Not everything bounces back. So you have to see to it. Yeah. You have to see to it for it to flourish and thrive.
That is a good point.
It really is.
Our daughter, she's really into gardening. She loves hydrangeas.
Kids love to garden.
She loves it. And I always, hey, did you go water? And it's her little responsibility. And it died off when it got cold. And this year she's been begging me and I'm like, we're trying to change out the garden beds and blah, blah, blah. But I guess we'll plant stuff again because that was her little thing. Mommy, it needs water. Mommy, move the leaves. And it was good for her. Yeah, it was really good for her. Rewarding. Oh my goodness. That's a good point.
So if not, you should. Yes. If you didn't get into it during the pandemic, it would be a good time to garden.
And there are so many now.
The fruits of your labor. Yes. It's very thrilling to see whether you can eat it or just look at it. Yes. It's a good hobby.
Have you seen now they have even like apartment patio, like a lot of people who are like, hey, we live in apartments or small spaces.
Oh, yeah, container gardens are beautiful.
And they were like, this is how to do it. And my sister has plants and, she lives in a condo, so it's a small patio, but gorgeous. Yeah. So
you can do great things and even vegetables and things you can grow in a container garden. Yeah. And there's cool containers now. Like you can be really creative with your containers. Like I've seen people do tires.
I did that. And, I've done that. Yeah. I painted all the time years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah, I painted all the tires.
All kinds of fun things. So if you don't garden, maybe you ought to. Think about it. So this week we're asking the question, is it ever too late? And I read this article about Kathy Jacobs, who is a 57-year-old petite model that made her inaugural appearance in Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, you guys.
That's awesome.
Which is so awesome. She had two things against her. She was 57. Right. And she was petite, which models are usually not petite. They're very tall.
Slender, yeah.
Very tall. She's slender, but she's little. And she became a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, which I imagine every model aspires to.
Yes.
That's like a big deal.
It's major kudos.
And she's gorgeous, y'all. Kathy Jacobs is her name. But, we got to thinking about, like, is it ever too late? I believe she's had this desire to model, to be a big time model. She has done, I think, a few things, but not to this caliber.
Not to this magnitude, yeah.
So, evidently this has been her dream. Okay. And she's 57 and it happened.
I don't think it's ever too late.
I think that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So it's
inspiring,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess the question is it ever too late?
I don't believe so. I think so. I mean, we have an age gap, but even still, think about when you were like 10 or 12, right? What you thought was old at 10 or 12, you've already lived to be that age, most likely. Like I remember at a time when I was like, whoa, 37, 38, 40. Like I really...
Or 30. Like, oh.
I remember that. And now I'm 35 and I genuinely feel like I'm just getting started.
Oh, yeah. Like, I didn't get any sense until I was 40.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. Like, and I really, in terms of making life-changing, intelligent decisions, I'm just arriving, Yes. And there's usually someone who's experienced trauma. There's someone who's experienced trauma who maybe got there earlier because they had to, right? They were forced to grow up faster or whatever. But even still, we both had our fair share of things growing up. And I'm just getting there, Lord. And I'm 35. So I don't believe it's ever too late. I think what they sell us, I think we're sold on youth and vitality and do it when you're young. And that's great. But I don't believe that's life. I don't think.
Well, and that's, the old adage, youth is wasted on the young.
Yes, it is.
Yes, but, it is. It's true. You don't know enough when you're young.
No.
Sometimes to even want the right things. To even, I don't know when she started modeling or when this became her dream or if it's always her dream. I don't know the whole backstory, but
you're right. You don't know enough when you're young to want the right thing.
It's a privilege to get to 57.
Yes.
That's the truth of the matter. Everybody
is not going to
does not get there.
Nope.
And the only way you don't get there is you die young. The only way you don't get old is you die young.
Yeah.
So you have to have dreams that last a lifetime.
Yes.
Always dream. Even when you get one dream fulfilled, you should have another dream.
Always
be dreaming.
Entrepreneur, I'm all about that. And when people are like, well, I just don't know, I'm done. I'm like, but that makes no sense. Like, there has to be something else.
You have to have something to look forward to.
You have to, yes. And so I think that's all it is. I don't think it's ever too late. And I think the older I get, the more I value discipline. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh, well, they must just like doing that or they're just good at it. No, they're not. No one loves it. No one they're just disciplined. And they're disciplined because they know what outcome they want. So I have to do X, Y, Z every day to get to this point. And so she's proof, definite proof, that the odds can be completely not in your favor. And then look at her. Like I just think that's
she's
amazing.
Gorgeous, y'all. Look her up. Kathy Jacobs is her name.
That is so cool.
So she's it was so inspiring to me. And I'm so happy for her.
Petite. That's something you can't change, right?
Right.
Like, that's something you can't change.
You get what you get.
You get what you get. You know, if you were dealt the 5'1" card.
Yeah. So they tend to like tall, willowy girls.
Yes.
And while she is willowy, she's short.
But she's short. Yeah.
So it really was a coup for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome. She had a double whammy, but just as she didn't give up. So be encouraged. I don't know what your dream is. I feel like
somehow this whole episode is life lesson-y. Because I didn't think of gardening in that way. I love doing it. I just didn't think of it in that way. We may even do a before and after. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed of the before. But we're redoing our whole front yard right now.
Yeah.
So we're redoing the whole thing. So I have to get my ish together. Y'all will probably get it after. Y'all ain't going to get it before. But no, I don't think it's ever too late. I think it's all
so whatever you're dreaming of, whatever your thing is, don't give up.
I don't know.
And it's never too late. And no matter how long it takes.
Yep. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but of course, as an entrepreneur, a lot of things get sent to me. And I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. We just celebrated our bakery's 9-year anniversary yesterday. And so I always get stuff. And they showed like how many times the author of the Harry Potter series was turned down. And then they talked about Colonel Sanders, which, KFC. They talked about everything.
He didn't get started till he was,
gosh, he was older than that. Like he was married.
Was he 70 or something?
He was older. And his wife left. I mean, just all these stories where when you look at their youth was the same as or worse than yours. And it's like, it happened for them at the right time.
Late bloomers.
Yes.
We're rooting for late bloomers.
Yes. And sometimes if it happens early, like you don't know to appreciate it anyway.
Or you can't handle it.
You can't handle it. Yes. So
sometimes I think you just don't know what you want.
Yeah. I agree.
Sometimes it might take that long to want something.
Yes. To say, hey, this is what I want to do.
And to pursue it.
So I don't believe that it's ever too late.
I don't either.
I don't think so.
I'm so happy for her.
Me too.
It's such a great story.
It's awesome.
So you guys look her up. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. So look her up, and we send her well wishes and wish her every happiness
and a thank you.
Tons of covers, Kathy.
Yes, and a thank you for showing that it's possible.
Vogue and everything. We want you to do all the things.
Sports Illustrated, like that's goals.
Cool. Yeah,
like that's amazing.
So, okay, have you guys ever thought you wanted to do something and the more you think about it, you come to yourself and you think, no, I probably don't need to do that. So I have two.
Okay.
One is chickens. And when we move to the historic district, you can have chickens.
Oh, I didn't know
you
that.
can just have whatever.
Okay.
And so I thought, and my younger son said, oh, Mom, you ought to get chickens. And I thought, yes, I should.
No. You should see me shaking my head. I'm like,
then you guys, I'm on YouTube. Don't you go to YouTube for all kinds of advice?
The University of YouTube.
I'm gonna learn how to 10 chickens. So let me go on YouTube. So I go in there, and y'all, chickens get something kind of like hemorrhoids. I forget what it's called. It's not called hemorrhoids, but it's something.
Oh my gosh.
And you have to see to a chicken's back end, okay? And if I had hemorrhoids, I don't want to tend to my own. I know I don't want to tend to a chicken.
So I don't want to do a chicken.
So it was like, okay, it sounds good on paper.
And just like that, you didn't want chickens anymore.
No, like me and the chickens have to part ways.
Your yard is so beautiful. I can't see you having chickens.
Well, in the back. And I'd have a really cute coop. They have the cutest chicken coop.
You're thinking about the cuteness.
I just need the coop and not the chickens. The other thing was because, I was gardening and we put in this, yard. I thought I need compost. And, don't you have a lot of waste?
Yes.
Egg shells and coffee grounds and things that really would
make great compost.
Would make great compost. So I thought, okay, I'm doing this. So I picked out the compost corner bin. The one that I thought would be, this is cool.
Okay.
It's elevated on legs, and you put the stuff in. It had 2 sections. Kind of the stuff that's already done that you could use, and then the other section.
That's still
and then it had a little handle. You can turn it, so you don't have to get in there with a pitchfork and stuff. You can do it. Okay. So yes, this is great. I'm going to have compost, y'all. Well, then my son-in-law tells me, if you have a compost, you're going to have rats.
Yeah, you're attracting rodents.
Once again, good on paper. But I'm not doing it because hilarious. I don't want rats.
So I guess as someone who grew up, my family still has almost 100 acres of farmland. And that's my dad's one of 7. So this is divided amongst all of his siblings are living. So growing up, we all took turns like going and mowing, where there weren't cows up near this farmhouse that's like collapsing that we would play in and had asbestos. And obviously none of this was safe, but that's how country I grew up. Like we grew up setting up cans and shooting them off a fence, and there were no neighbors to be seen. We still have an outhouse. That's how country we grew up. So every when people say chickens, I'm like, no, you don't want chickens. Why would you? No. But it's glamorized, right? Like you said, these cute chicken coops.
And it's a trend.
But they're nasty.
Like people are having,
Yes. Well, you remember when everyone had like, what was it? Along Came Mary. People had ferrets as pets, and that was like a trend. God, and then like now people have chicken, and I'm like, chickens are kind of gross.
Yeah,
like, they're nasty.
I mean, they and all of them probably wouldn't get the hemorrhoid condition. I don't know why they get it,
but that's what turns.
But mine would get it.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
your
sure
luck.
Because that would be the first thing I had to do is tend to a chicken's back end. Like that's what I.
When people tell me like they want animals,
I live to do, right? Tend to chickens back
in my head. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
So when I was a little girl, this is probably mine. Actually, it just came to me. I had a pet pig, and we lived in this. We live in the city. We live in Dallas. My parents grew up in Dallas, or no, they didn't grow up, but I grew up in Dallas, like heart of the city, nowhere near the country. And I wanted a pig. I love Charlotte's Web. And I wanted like my own Wilbur. I had a girl. Her name was Abigail. She loved raisins and hot dogs. Just fun facts. And potbelly pigs sound great on paper. And they're really cute. Except some of them get larger. Yeah, some of them get larger than you intended. Abigail was pretty big. It sounded great on paper. And of course we had hogs like on the farm at one point. And I'm like, oh, I love them. Yes, because they're on a farm.
Right.
And they eat everything
in their environment.
Yes, in their pig environment. Yeah. So a lot of things when it comes to animals and farm life, I think it sounds good on paper.
It is.
But it's not good in real life.
No, when my kids were growing up, we had dogs.
Okay.
And the thing with dogs, if your kids are hounding you for a dog, you have to get to the place where you want the dog.
Yep.
Because no matter what they promise or what's going on, they're going to have practice and school
or
and all their activities and birthday parties to go to and whatever, and won't be around to, even if they want to
do it.
They might not be there in time to feed the dog or see to the dog. So you have to want it. And every time we got a dog, I wanted the dog. So that was
it was really for
kind
you.
of yeah. And I am not averse to pets. And my philosophy is, especially if you have boys, girls have lots of opportunities to be nurturing.
Yes.
Lots of socially acceptable and culturally acceptable ways and opportunities to be nurturing. And not so much for boys.
No.
Not so much for boys. And boys tend to not be very social.
Yeah.
It's harder for them to make friends. Although I'm so lucky, both of my boys had great friends in high school and college that they are still friends with.
Oh, that's great.
So they had a crew. But it's just
the
harder.
Nurturing aspect.
But it's
that's
just
why
harder
people
for
get
them.
Pets.
So dogs for them really gave them a great opportunity to be nurturing. And I saw that side of them, that tenderness, taking care of something.
Yeah.
And
caring about its well-being.
Yeah. And even in an older age, not little bitty. They were, junior high and even high school. We had dogs when they were elementary too, but of course they're nurturing then.
Right.
It's kind of fun to see them as young men
do it.
Be kind and nurturing. So I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I'm saying whatever it is you want to do, you really have to research it.
Yes.
Really research it and make sure you're down for it. The thing with rats, now y'all know about my kamikaze squirrels. I'm not doing rodents.
So you don't do like guinea pigs or mice or...
No, we had a hamster.
Your face is...
They had a hamster for, however long hamsters last. And, it just... Of course, I had to clean the cage and stuff. I remember putting the hamster in that ball.
Yes.
The little ball they roll around. I'd put the hamster in the ball, clean the cage, and then put him back. And I mean, he was okay, but
I feel like they get bored of them very quickly.
Yeah, just not my jam.
My mom,
and rats are gross.
My mom was like, "This is too close to a rat, and you're gonna clean it." Yeah. And we didn't get any more. Because
rats
she
are
refused.
Not cool. When we were in Chicago, I told y'all at Kennedy's wedding, we were, we walked everywhere, and we were coming home from the shower, which was at Wicker Park Inn. I'll tag them. Y'all have such a cute little venue for showers and stuff. But I was walking with my older daughter, who lived the Tulane daughter, y'all, and we. There's lots of alleys in Chicago. And she goes, "Oh, there's a rat in the alley." And she's used to New Orleans, which they have some issues with rats. And I was like, I could not get back to quick enough. It's That's like, funny. What? Yeah. And which I know, in theory, it.
I don't know, though.
But
like,
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them, y'all.
I'm not about that life.
I mean, they are playing in the street, and they are big as cats.
When my husband was working in New York, he was there. Like, he would fly out of town, so we still lived here, but he was like, "These rats are big enough to take me out." I said, "What?" And I was like, "That's a possum." He's like, "No, that's a rat." I was like, "The devil is a lie." I mean, they were huge.
Yeah.
And it was behind a restaurant, so they're dumping out trash, and they were just taking what they want.
That shows y'all, if there's trash, there's rats. That's why with the compost.
Yep.
If there's any kind of something. And then I'm thinking, well, it's on legs. But no, they climb. But they can climb.
Yeah.
They climb on power lines and stuff. So that was another of my things. Good on paper.
Not in reality.
Not gonna happen. So I'm not saying don't compost.
We're saying research.
I'm not saying don't do chickens. Do you, boo?
Yeah.
But if you can deal with the rats and you can deal with chicken hemorrhoids, more power to you. I God love you.
It's just not for
but
you.
I'm not going to do it.
On the reverse, do you have anything that you thought, oh, this is going to be too much, and then when you did it, you were good?
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. Most of the time when I think this is going to be too much, I live to regret it. I'm like, why?
If I think it's too much, it is.
So I'm a sucker for animals, like all animals. Like, I would bring home a cow. Like, I can't go to where animals need to be adopted.
Oh yeah,
I can't
because you want all of them.
I'll put them all in my SUV, and then my husband would probably kill me. And so I sneak my daughter. My husband knows this. He found out, so he's gonna shake his head when he listens to this. But I sneak my daughter to pet animals.
Oh.
So that's like our secret thing we go do is like go pet animals that need to be adopted. And
that's a public service.
It is, but she snuck one out of the store one time.
What was it?
It was a little puppy.
Oh.
And she, I guess, had it like, I don't know, the way she's small. She's 3, just to give some context here. She's 3.
But they're little too.
They're little.
The puppies are little.
And so
too.
she's like, this puppy is like hanging on for dear life. And I'm like, oh my God, don't drop it. You break a limb. We have to adopt it. And so I can't take her. Like, it's a bad idea. Like, and I used to think I'll take her.
Kids and puppies go together.
They go together. Yeah. And I thought I'm going to take her.
When they're older. I do like kids to have pets.
Oh, my kids will,
but you have to be down for it.
They're 1 and 3.
No, not yet.
You have
to be down for it because even when they're older,
it's also your pet.
Sometimes you gotta step in.
It's also your pet. Yeah. But so she's as bad as me. So she wants to take them. She's like, well, they need to sleep with us. So I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. So
we're not to be trusted.
We've just So we've just stopped going. There was a cow that needed to be adopted, and so we were like petting this cow.
There's all kind of rescue.
There are
for all kinds of
animals. And I thought, can a cow fit in our backyard?
If that's your jam,
yes.
And will the city let you?
We have a high fence. See, this is why I can't be trusted. It sounds great on paper, and actually, we live in the country, so some people do have cows.
Yeah.
So I just pray for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to bring home a cow.
Me either.
Well, in keeping with our every week, I'm curious to hear who your boyfriend is.
Okay, this week I'm picking Andy Garcia.
That's a good one.
He is so cute.
Okay.
And age appropriate. Y'all remember him. He was in The Untouchables, Godfather 3, When a Man Loves a Woman. Recently, he was on a TV show. I don't think I saw it. Oh gosh, what's the girl's name?
I hadn't seen anything recently, but I'm not a big
I'll
TV.
think of it. But he's been on something kind of recent, but he's a cutie, and he's aged really well.
He is a cutie.
And he's just kind of sexy, sweet,
very charming. We love sexy,
little accent. We love accents.
We love accents. Yes, we do. No, he is, and that's a good one. That one caught me off guard, but that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. So I wanted to stay with the theme. And last week, I brought up Jason Momoa, who I have not dumped yet. So I guess in making the
she hasn't broke up with him.
I have not broke up with him yet.
You got to break up.
Well, we'll take a break. We'll take a pause. So mine this week is Lenny Kravitz, and although Lenny Kravitz is not, he's right between the two of us.
Yeah, Lenny looks good.
Baby, Lenny looks
damn good.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a men's fitness, some magazine, and the subscription was coming to our house like before we ever moved there, and they just still come. So of course the subscription comes, and my husband's like, "That's Lenny Kravitz, ain't it?" I said, "Yep." He's like, "Is he 10 years older than me?" I was like, "Try 20-ish." He was like, "What does this man do?" And so of course I know he sneaks and reads this magazine because he's like hating, but wants to also know what Lenny Kravitz does. Yeah, what are your secrets? So no, Lenny. I mean, come on.
He's aged
he's
so
handsome.
well.
He's a musician.
Cool.
He's cool.
Rock star cool.
He's
all the things and all the feels.
So I wanted to meet. I've only ever wanted to meet 2 people, entertainers, musicians, and it was Prince and Lenny Kravitz. And so when Prince passed, like my heart, I love Prince. I've had a Prince tattoo long before he passed. I just love him. We'll post a picture. My son's first birthday first photo shoot, he was Prince.
Oh my gosh.
I dressed him as Prince. He was like maybe 2 months old. And so I sewed the costume myself, had a little guitar. We'll have to post. But that was his first photo. He was Prince. And I just love Prince. But so my Lenny Kravitz dream lives on, that I could one day meet him. I have a friend that met him, and she said he was actually like really down to earth.
He seems like he's just a sweetheart
and handsome.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Drop dead.
Gorgeous. I know my next boyfriend. I'm gonna write it down because I always forget.
Isn't that sad? You can't enjoy the one because you're thinking about the next one.
Lenny can't be
sad.
Lenny can't be tamed. So it's just good to have him for a little bit. Well, guys, thank y'all for pulling up a chair, having some coffee with us, even though as hot as it is here,
iced coffee.
We're probably having iced coffee.
Yes.
Actually, I did.
Coffee.
I had a caramel macchiato. Did you? I had a caramel macchiato on the way over here. So yeah, it is hot. And as always, we will either add to our link tree or post on our Instagram, which you can find us at Are You Free for Coffee? And per usual, we will catch you guys on the next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Did we